prefer a natural background.
I think that my background's better than yours, Charles. Don't know why. Maybe.
The same image. I don't know what
Yeah.
happened.
But yours like you like reflected, like to be like in the right way. Mine is like you see that the back for in my case is wrong. You
For
can't
me,
read.
yours is right, and mine is
Ah,
no.
so okay, so it's nothing to do with that. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's like Zoom is showing differently. Yeah.
Hello, Marcio. How are you? Okay, guys, let's just wait for 1 minute to 2 minutes. Um, Hey, Marcio. Unfortunately, the event will be conducted in English, but if you have questions in Portuguese, we can answer them in. But we will try to speak slowly and be as clear as we can. Okay. Okay. I think that we can start. So you have the word Portia.
Hello, everyone. Thank you so much for joining us in today's webinar. My name is Portia, and I'm the Marketing and Communications Officer at Back4App. This is a special event as we are joined by our co-founders, Davi Macedo and Alison Mello, and of course, Alex, whom you all might know as the popular architect from Back4App. We are here to discuss the future of low-code, Parse 5.0's contribution, followed by a longer and a more interesting Q&A session where you can get to ask questions directly to our founders. I would not delay much and would like our co-founders to take it from here.
Hello, guys. My name is Alison. First of all, I would like to say thank you to all of you who have managed time to attend this webinar. You have seen me in the previous webinars, I believe, and now you get to meet also Davi, my old friend, partner, and of course, CEO of Back4App. Would like to speak a few words, Davi?
Yeah, sure. Hi guys, nice to meet you. I'm Davi Macedo, CEO of Back4App, co-founded Back4App as well. I'm also part of Parse open source core team. Yeah, it's great to have you guys here, and looking forward to answer any questions you guys may have.
Portia?
Portia, you're on mute.
I think she's like somehow frozen. Alex, do you wanna maybe
Yeah.
you want, yeah, if you want to start, yeah.
Yeah,
All right,
she's
guys. So hello, everyone. Hello. Thank you so much for joining the webinar. It's really awesome to see our community joining our webinars. It's always good to see a good response from you. So thank you so much for joining. And I think before we get started with the webinar itself, it would be good to know the goal behind Back4App from our founders, as we have both of them here today. So Alison and David, what was the goal or the idea or the purpose behind Back4App?
okay. Thank you, Alex. Thank you for the question. Just a quick reminder. Please, if you have any questions, please let us know. And by the end of this conversation, we are going to start to answer them. So yeah. Okay. Okay, Alex, just answering your questions. So I believe that purpose goals behind Backtrack platforms are like finding ways to make like software development more accessible and affordable. It may sound like fairly a big challenge, but that can transcend to some elementary things that can be actually done in technology space to make that reality to a lot of people.
Yeah, so adding and like a few comments on what Alison just said, but our main goal at Back4App is like to make development, the development process, like faster and easier, like and help the developers to build software on a better way. So that's the main purpose of Back4App. And for you guys like to know a little bit about our background. So before Back4App, we used like to run a software development company for like 15 years. And we started Back4App actually based on our own needs. So we started like design the platform that we wanted to have as developers to build software on a better and faster way. And that's the purpose of Back4App. That's what we want to do and provide.
All right. And why is that important for you guys?
Well, I see that technology has like a very important role in converting ideas into something real. And when you can give this power to as many people as you can, that fascinates me. Before Back4App, before we created Back4App, we were like helping people to build apps through a software agency, and we wonder how can we scale this? How can we give this power to much more people, to as many people as possible?
Yeah, and in addition to that, what I see is like the world needs like more and more software to be built every day. Like new software demand is created, and basically we need like to find and create a way for the developers to be more productive and be able like to produce more software with less effort. Otherwise, we'll basically like not be able like to attend this demand. So that's why I believe that. Not only Back4App, but all other like low code and no code development platforms can help like the developers in basically deliver all the software that's needed.
Sounds great. Now, since the topic of this webinar is the future of low code, so let's dive into that. So some people say that low code or no code platforms is actually destroying their jobs. That's not good for humanity, as you can think. So there are more than 26 million developers in the world, and there should be space for everybody to become an application developer. So what's your opinion about this controversy? How does that sound to you guys?
Um, a great question, Alex, again. In my opinion, this is part of the evolution process. If you take a look back, like a couple of years, 100 years ago, and compare these times with today, you see that a lot of jobs were eliminated. They changed it to something different. So there are some great examples happening just right now, like look at the car industry and the autonomous vehicles and all the banking revolutions with the fintechs. I truly believe that jobs will change, but people will also change and learn to do things in a different way. And our role is to make this process as smooth as we can.
Yeah, in my opinion, like I said before, so I see that the software development demand is like growing exponentially on the world, and like the number of developers are available are growing, but not in the same pace. So we need to be more productive, and at the same time, it doesn't make sense like for the developers to spend time like on repetitive tasks and tasks that are not actually adding value to the final application. So as an example, so let's say I build an app and I need like to create a login form, a login screen. Probably like my app will not succeed and it will not be like the best app out there because I have like the best login table, but because I have like the best login front end, in which like people will see, will be willed to sign up and sign in on the platform and start using it. So what we want to do is actually automate all like the development of all tasks that are repetitive and make it possible for the developers to concentrate on what actually really matters. So that's the idea behind Back for App, and I don't see like we killing like any jobs, but actually making like the development of applications like easier and better for everybody. So yeah, that's my opinion around that.
All right. And well, on the other hand, some developers also say that low-code platforms can compromise on flexibility and performance. And do you agree with this or not?
Honestly, I think that it depends on the platform we are talking about. So some platforms out there, when used, like they can compromise the flexibility. I don't think that's the case at Back for App. Actually, when we started Back for App, like 7 years ago, we've seen like other backend as a service platforms, but all of them on that time were like built around proprietary technologies, like single machine serving all API calls of all different apps, and lacking in flexibility for the developers to customize the backend behavior. And our main goal since the beginning of Back for App is like not only accelerate the app development when someone is like starting a new app, but also like give the flexibility for the developers to customize the backend behavior and keep scaling the platform and keep scaling up the app. And the way we do that's basically using open source technologies. Out of curiosity, so when we started Back for App, we were actually building our own open source framework. And then like we found out Parse and huge community work on that. We got like passionate about Parse, and we decided like to build Back for App using Parse as the main technology behind the scenes. But the goal is the same. So the usage of open source technologies and bring like this flexibility in such a way that actually when you create an app on Back for App, you know what's happening behind the scenes. We know what's the code. You can contribute to the open source technology. You have no vendor lock-in. And more than that, so each app that's created on Back for App has its own source code. So we are able to customize this source code to fit like any need of the app. So with like platforms that follow like an approach like that, I don't think like compromise flexibility or like compromise the ability for the developers like to evolve the app and fit like more complex business rules. But for sure, there are like some platforms out there that would like compromise.
Yeah, I would like to add a point about performance. The features we are offering are like we have been running and optimizing these features for a lot of different scenarios, a lot of different needs for the past few years. And today we are processing over 3 billion API calls per month. So that's huge. And there's a lot optimization that have already been done. So we truly believe that there's been like, of course, you have like some practices that you have, like the best practices you have to do to optimize your app performance on Backfrap. But I would say that you can have like a great performance here.
Sounds great. Well, and as some of you might know, Parse is one of the core parts in the stack of Backfrap. And what you might not know is that Davi is one of the core members on the development of the Parse open source. So Parse has now been 6 years since it was first released, and a lot of things happened in that time, right, Davi? So during this time, how is the community in terms of growth, and how is the contribution for the open source Parse project?
Yeah, Parse is actually a pretty active community. Like an interesting fact that few people know about. So people believe that actually Facebook like open sourced the Parse, but actually Parse was rewritten from scratch. So it was like the community that wrote Parse. And yeah, so we have like pretty active community, like more than 70,000 stars out there, and like great number of contributions on a daily basis in terms of code and also in terms of donations, and lot of things happening. New features coming like on Parse 5. We recently like created the Flutter Sdk, the new Swift Sdk, 100% Swift Sdk, the React library. I don't know if you guys had the opportunity to check it out. We also have like this new feature, which is like actually a beta feature in which you can integrate any Parse app to an Ethereum compatible network. So a lot of things are happening, and the technology is evolving, and we are working hard like to be like updated, with the most technology trends. And what's good about Parse is like it's a 7 years technology being used like for many companies out there. So it's bulletproof. It works, and you can rely on Parse. That's the idea.
Nice. And what features have you launched on Parse that fits the low-code concept?
I think all around Parse has this like low-code idea. So the idea is like to reduce the number of lines of code that the developers need to build. So when you go to the dashboard and design your database model, and we automatically generate like REST API, GraphQL API, that would be like the low code. And the main goal of Parse is like to reduce this amount of lines of code that you need to write on your backend. So we want you guys like to just to write what's like really specific to your app, or really specific to your needs. And like it's mainly done like using Cloud Code functions. So that's like the part you need like to write code.
If I had to choose one recent feature that fits the low code concept, Of course, all of them fits, but a remarkable one for me is the Flutter SDK. Because the SDK makes easy to use Parse on a Flutter app. So it makes simple, it makes like everything with less code, with effective code. And it was a great addition to Parse. And there's a great community around Flutter and Parse, building apps, supporting and improving the SDK. And this is an amazing thing.
That is indeed great. Better features and newer versions are what our users need at the end, right? So, Davi, you probably know this, being an old member of the Parse community. Most recently, Parse launched a new version, which is currently in beta. It's the 5.0 or White Rhino, should I say. Well, my question is more specific. What are the remarkable changes on this new version of Parse?
Yeah, it's Parse 5 now. Like the community has chosen like a name for Parse. So each new release, each new like major release will have like a name, and Parse 5 is called like the White Rhino. And we are working hard like on Back4App to make it like available also to Back4App users. It's already available on open source community, and we will soon launch at Back4App as well. So, and a lot of features coming in. So new cloud code validators. Another thing that people has asked a lot, like in the past years. So we have now schema migration. So it's easier, like for you, like to migrate the schema from different environments, from your development environment, then like to homologation, then to production. That's something that's I think really useful, and a lot of improvements in terms of security. So we have first fixed a lot of vulnerability. We've rebuilt like the whole authentication adapters architecture. So you have like lot more flexibility to integrate with third-party authentication providers, and even like MFA is now supported. And I don't know if you guys noticed, but we've recently launched on Back4App dashboard, like on the app status page, an audit report in which like we look for security vulnerabilities on your app. Parse 5 is also bringing like new checks, a lot of checks, and to guide you guys to better secure your app. Lots of things going on. Improvements in terms of performance as well. So the way we cache the schema, the process schema, also GraphQL API schema, some improvements on GraphQL API. So lots of things.
Nice. So let me then ask you something that people ask me a lot. So what is the relation between Parse and Back4App, and what are you guys planning for the future of Back4App?
I would say that Parse is, of course, a core component of Back4App platform. Here at Back4App, we breathe Parse and love the community and how they're engaged with the technology. We are very committed in keep Parse and Back4App growing and consolidate as its best open source backend platform in the world. Since we launched Back4App 7 years ago, we have seen a lot of people launching, scaling remarkable apps, and that won't be possible without Parse.
Yeah, and an interesting thing about Parse is like it's a community-driven project, and it's independent of Back4App and any other company. And that's what we love about that, because like the main goal of the community and the main goal of Parse is actually to build something that's really awesome, and it's really good for the development needs, and not like for the specific interest of a single company. Or so that's the idea, and that's the way that we believe that open source projects can succeed.
All right.
Okay, Alex, let me invert the positions here for a bit, for a moment. So you're interviewers, but now I have a question for you. As a senior developer, what's your vision for the future of software development? Will low code be mainstream? How far that can go? And yeah, feel free to also add your comments, David.
Well, I think the key word here is evolution. So if you get the very first programming languages, you had to write thousands of lines of code to achieve some functionalities. Then it starts evolving, and then we got the same functionalities implemented with much less code. Then we got the architecture concepts, and we even produced less code to achieve, once again, the same functionalities. And low code brings us to this point. So I really think it will be mainstream because we need to produce more functionalities producing less code. And low code and no code comes to hide on that perspective. So I really truly believe in low code. I think it will be mainstream, and I think we're going to see even more low code platforms on the future, because there is a space and a need in the developer community to achieve its goals without having to code everything from the scratch.
Yeah, I think my opinion is like same of Alex. So I believe that low code and no code is natural evolution of the software development process. So when we look like back, we seen like in the beginning we use like assembly, for example, in which like you had like to write like thousands of line of code like to do very simple things, and then like new technology and new like development languages were like on a higher level concept, and allowed us like to create like more and more software like with like less lines of code. And I think that the natural evolution of that is like low code and no code. So all that can be automated, we automate, and like we just concentrate our efforts like on what's really needed. And another reason that I believe that it will be like mainstream, I think that low code and no code platform, they are becoming kind of must have in many companies, and because like the demand for software development like is growing so fast that basically if you don't use like a platform that speed up your development process, you will basically not be able like to deliver all projects you need to deliver. So yep, that's what I see.
Thank you, Davi. I think it's time we go ahead and take some questions from the audience. We already have a lot of questions pending, so we can start answering them one by one.
All right. So first from Ahmad Kudesh. I have a question about Cloud Code functions. When you define a before save for a specific collection, can you update another collection inside the before save Cloud Code function? Yes, you can. All you have to pay some attention to when doing this is that if you have a before save for collection A, that will change something on collection B, and then for instance, you have another trigger in collection B that will trigger something on collection A, then you enter an infinite loop. So every time you change A, it will change B, that will change A again, that will change B again. So you have to take some care when accessing objects from other classes from a before save for one specific class. But yes, you can do that. So then from Marcio Catalunha. I recently had a gateway issue with AWS. I had to upload a Node.js server just to authenticate SSL and perform MTLS with a bank's webhook here in Brazil. If you can implement a gateway for external requests with MTLS, it would be interesting. I would avoid using a server outside of Back4App. I know that your answer will be in English and I will understand little, but just to register the need here, success. I continue to studying MB Back4App and finding it very good. So thank you so much, Marcio. And well, I don't think we can have a MTLS authentication gateway available for everyone, because this is quite specific, so not all the users would have that need. What we can do is, if you have a dedicated server in Backrep, we can tailor made it to your needs. So any specific settings that you might need, we can always discuss and try to implement. So be sure to talk to our support team. They will handle your ticket inside here, and then we can see if it's doable from our side. If it is, we can of course do it for you. Now
Yeah,
one for you.
I think there is like one I missed question in the beginning, Alex, from
Really,
Mohammed.
sorry.
How Yeah, how
No,
far will low code go? But I think that we've actually answered this question, right? During like the questions we in our initial conversation. Yeah, but thank you for asking, Mohammed.
Yeah, Mohammed, sorry for jumping over your question. I didn't see it, but yeah, I think we covered on during the webinar. I think low code is quite an evolution of programming, and there is a space for low code in the development world. So I truly believe in low code. So, from Joseph Hanson, how backwards compatible is Parse 5?
Yeah, any major release at Parse can have like some breaking changes, and we have like a list of these breaking changes you can find on the change logs of the main repository. And as long as I remember, in this Parse 5, there's like not so like many breaking changes, or some like very important one that will break like the whole thing, like we had before on, for example, when we change like the structure of the cloud code. So you may find like some challenges in migrating to Parse 5, but most likely I think you will not find like any major problems. And one thing that's important to note at Back4App, we don't like upgrade any app automatically. We don't want like any app to break, right? So what we do is like when we have like support to Parse 5, you will basically like communicate to the community. And the process that we suggest you guys to follow is first like clone your app, then upgrade the cloned app to Parse 5, test your app, and once you are comfortable and you make sure that everything is working fine, then you upgrade the production app. So that's the idea.
All right. Then from Doug Dreschel, why should I use Back4App instead of Parse server itself? And this is a question I get a lot. So in Back4App, we have a few technologies that we implement over Parse. So we think we add some value over the Parse server open source product. So you have a few features that you'll find in Back4App that you won't find on the open source product. That said, you also won't have to worry about the configuration, setup, and scalability and security of the Parse server yourself, because this is quite tricky to do. You have to configure auto scalability. So if you start having more users, your machines have to scale to accommodate these new users. In Back4App, you got all that covered. Also, all the security aspect. How is your firewall set? How is your SSL certificates set in your own server? Do you have the expertise to do that yourself and ensure your apps data is safe inside your own server? Here in Back4App, we have professionals taking care of every single aspect of the servers. So scalability, security, failure tolerance, we got you all covered in all those areas. You don't have to worry about anything. You can focus on what brings the value to your application, which is the development part. So I think this is why you should opt for Back4App instead running Parse yourself. And that said, we also have a free plan that it's quite generous. So you can run even medium applications on free plan. So I really don't see a need to run Parse yourself unless you want to do so. Do you want to add anything, Davi?
No, I think you covered well. So yeah, so it's mainly like we make it Parse easier, like to get started and like to scaling up the application. Also, like we have lots of experience with Parse. So and what we even see like is like the people that start like using Parse on the open source, and when they start like growing up and scaling their apps, they turn out like coming to Back4App because they need our help, like to improve things, to make it like faster, to make it like more secure. Another thing, like maybe like to make your app GDPR compliant. So there are like a lot of value that we add on the server side, on the way like we host the app and the way we set up the app. But of course, if you want like to use Parse open source, you are more welcome to use it yourself as well. And we do even help like the community. So I for example myself help like people using Parse open source on a daily basis, like on the open source channel. So and I also invite you guys to join. There is like a forum. It's very active. A lot of people like discussing Parse over there, Stack Overflow. So yeah, we are trying to help people that are using the open source project as well by themselves.
Great. So from Martin Miller, the highest version I see available is 4.10.4 beta. So how do I get access to the Parse 5 beta? Do you have a date for releasing Parse 5 to our users?
Yeah, it's not yet available. It will be available at Back4App soon. So probably by the end of May, we'll have like Parse 5.
So Martin, just wait a little bit more and it will be available to choose Parse 5 from your dashboard. Another one from Marcio Catalunha. Congratulations on the event. Success to Back4App. We're going to expand actions here in Brazil. I have a meeting at 3 a.m. Oh, this is not actually a question, it's just a comment. So thanks. So thank you so much for joining, Marcio. So from Vandip Basra. Does Back4App have a similar concept as Amazon AWS Terraform for deploying environments in code?
Yeah, can I answer this one? So what we have,
Yeah, sure.
I don't know if you guys are aware about that, but we have the CLI. In it, like using the CLI, you can create new apps programmatically. You can deploy apps programmatically. So that's what we have available right now. We also have like an API that we use internally, like for creating apps, cloning apps, this kind of things. We don't make it like publicly available to everybody, but if you have like any specific need to do like something programmatically that you currently is not able to do using the CLI, you can like reach us out and we can like provide you a way to do that. But a good thing that we are also working on now, so you guys will see soon like a new brand new CLI with lots more capabilities and lots more things that you will be able to do programmatically. But not only the CLI, but also like now a GraphQL API that you will be able like to connect and manage your apps at Back4App via this API.
Yeah. Vandip, if you don't know about the CLI yet, I really recommend you try that out because we do have a few users that use it to manage tasks with a lot of efficiency. So you can integrate that to continuous delivery and continuous integration tools, even to some deployment tools. So it can create new apps, deploy new apps, even delete old apps. It can publish apps only if they don't break the GitHub tests. So you can integrate that with a lot of tools and automate most of the process. So if you don't know this tool yet, if you're not using it, I really recommend you take a look because it's quite easy to do to implement the CLI. and it's very, very powerful. So this can help you a lot, while it's not really the Terraform platform, but it can give you a good hand on deploying new apps. So, from Sebastian, I'm using Zoho and Odoo as no-code, low-code apps. Sometimes they are a bit too strict. Do you have Parse API so I can mix between Back4App and these platforms?
Yeah, I don't know so much myself about Zoho and Odoo. Yeah, we really like to better understand this platform, so don't have any plans like on our backlog, like to make something specific to them. But probably that is like already. I don't know what like these platforms do, if they are like front-end development platforms, like we've seen like other platforms out there. It's probably easy like to connect because we provide like this REST and GraphQL APIs, and most of these front-end development platforms they have like an easy way to connect to APIs. So we've seen like a growing trend. That's something that we didn't talk about on our conversation, Alex, but it's interesting. So we see like a growing trend of people using Back4App as the backend for apps they are developing use front and low no code front end development platforms. So for example, people using Coda, this is one that came up in my mind, like together with Back4App. So they use Coda like to create like new views for the data, and the data itself it's at Back4App. So this is something that I believe that can work with Zoho and Odoo, but I think you like to better understand these platforms in order to answer.
Yeah, I also don't know this platform, Sebastian, so I had to investigate a little bit over it. But you got to remember that for all the classes that you create in Back4App and all the Cloud Code functions, you have REST API endpoints and GraphQL endpoints, so you can consume those data. So you have access to your classes, you have access to your Cloud Code functions. All you have to do is make a REST API call or a GraphQL call from your platform. If you can make those kinds of calls, then you're good to go, and there you probably find a way to integrate in those platforms as well. But now that you brought that up, I will research a little bit about it, and when I get a conclusion, I will record a video for our YouTube channel about it. Okay. So Vandeep, the free tier is awesome. Thank you, Vandeep. Great to know. Thanks. Can you define recurring job schedules programmatically? Oh, I never did that myself. Can we define schedules?
Yeah, it's something that we don't make it like publicly available, but we do have like some customers doing that. So we have like an API which doesn't provide like the best development experience yet. That's why we are creating like this brand new GraphQL API, which you will be able to do that like in a much easier way. But even though currently we are able like to provide you like this API, not so easy to use, but you can do that. In order to do that, like best way, please open a ticket on our supporting channel, and our team will be able like to guide you on the steps on how to achieve that.
All right, so I don't see any more questions.
There are
Just
some,
Sebastian thanking us.
There are some questions here on the Q&A section. Okay. I don't know if you are aware, Alex.
Here, from Peter Blair. I'm very interested in the specifics for setting up an application that can work offline or on. I know that there are local data stores, cache policies, and I live in live queries. It gets very confusing to make it all work together. Any code samples appreciated. Thank you for the seminars, and we are always great. So, Peter, It's actually quite easy to use those features once you get the handle of it, but it changes a little bit from SDK to SDK. So you have to define which SDK you're using, so we can better understand the features that are available to you, because not all features are available in all SDKs. But we do have support to offline data storage. Even we have automatically set a detection that will save to cloud when available, if not save to local. It's a method called save eventually, and it handles this pretty much automatically. You can always use the pin method to save locally, to force save locally. So depending on the SDK that you're using, it's quite easy to do that, okay?
Let me add a little bit here as well, Alex. I know,
Sure.
I think that what like Peter is also referring to is like, I also actually kind of agree with him. So the offline storage is like a piece of software, like the live query is another piece of software, and you also have like the REST API, and sometimes like make the three things to work together is a little bit tricky. And if your question is around that, Peter, I suggest you like two different things. So the first thing, if you are using React, we've built like this a new React library on the open source community. It's called like Parse React. I was actually the main one that wrote this code, and I try like to put everything together on a simple hook. When you subscribe to this hook, you have like all these three pieces of software like working together on a easy way. And if you are not using React, you can find like a video that I recorded like maybe 1 year ago on our YouTube channel. It's called Mastering Live Query or something like that, that I show in JavaScript how I do that, you know, how I manage the information that I didn't get yet, like from live query, and the information that I have like the REST API. So yeah, and that's basically like the idea behind the React library. So yeah, take a look on this video, and if you still have like any other question, let us know via join our Slack community. I'll be able like I will be happy like to help you on that.
All right. So from Ahmad Kudesh. We already covered your question, Ahmad. It's about the Cloud Code functions operating in one class from a before save trigger to another class. So yes, it is doable, but you have to take some care to not enter a infinite loop, especially if class B triggers class A and class A triggers for the class B, okay? So from Natalia Conde, does Backfrap support only the build phase, or can I host my React app? You can host your React app with us as well, Natalia. All you have to do is build your React app for web and publish to our servers into the public folder. You're good to go. Sorav Ganguly. I hope you spelled your name right, okay? So is there a way for a client to get missed updates from live query subscribe?
Yeah, so that's same response that I gave you. So I consider like taking a look like on this React library, and also like in this video. So I also like go through like this feature. So basically what I used to do is like I subscribe to the reconnect event, and every time that I get reconnected to the live query, I take like a brand new screenshot of the current data we have on the servers via the REST API, and then I merge this result with the live query events as well. So that's like the overall idea behind that, but yeah, that's how I handle like any loss of connectivity on the live query. And again, like more than welcome to join the Slack community, and feel free like to answer any question. I'll be happy to help you on that as well.
All right, from Raul Mina. I've been trying to build my next app using Parse and Flutter. Learning Dart has been a bit of a challenge. I want to build around camera, GPS, and augmented reality. So should I continue with Flutter or low code? I'm also looking for sign up implementation with Parse using mobile. No, only so users don't have to remember another email password combination for my app. So, Raul, Flutter is a very good language. It allows you to fully control iOS and Android devices. So I know Dart is a little bit challenging in the beginning, but it's a very good language and it has a lot of materials that you can learn from. So if it fits your needs, I really recommend you keep studying on Flutter because it is very good indeed. Also for the sign up implementation, if you don't want your users to remember email and password and you're using Backfrap, what you can do is use our integrations with other platforms. So we have signing with Apple, Google login, and Twitter integrations. So the user can use those platforms to log in into your Backfrap app. So they don't have to remember anything. All they do is click a button and they will be automatically logged in. So do you want to add something to this question, David?
No, I think you covered it well. Maybe Alice wants to add something. He's like the Flutter expert at Back4App.
Yeah, I would say that Dart is pretty beautiful. So my recommendation for you is keep learning. It can be hard in the beginning, but it will be very good if you can learn and learn how to build an app using Flutter. You know, so and yeah, that's my recommendation.
Yeah, I have the same feeling. I really like Flutter. I like Flutter better than React Native myself, especially because with Flutter, you can control all the elements on the screen. And with React Native, not so much. And so you're kind of limited. So Flutter is a very, very good and powerful programming language. Spend the time to learn its concepts, and you will be good to go. Then how is Backfrap going in terms of company, customer base, growth, etc.? I know you guys are very solid and in the business for many years, and I think this makes Backfrap a great option in my low-code platforms. So I'll let you, Alison and David, answer this one.
Yeah, Back4App is out there for 7 years now. Actually, 6 years since we've launched our commercial release, and we in these years we've signed up like over 200,000 developers worldwide, and lots of people like coming in every day. Lots of things happening at the same time. So yeah, we have a healthy company. We don't rely on like any VC investments like for a long while, and yeah. So I think that Back4App is like you said is solid and you can trust as a long-term solution.
Yeah, we are like as you said, like we are in the market for a long time. And we are like processing a lot of API calls today, over than 3 billion. And that's huge. And as Davi said, we have a solid business. We are bootstrapping, but yeah, I think that those are the growth metrics you can share with you.
All right, any other questions? I don't see any more. All right, so I think we covered all the questions. So I think we're good for now. So thank you so much, everyone, for joining. Please be sure to go to our YouTube channel and subscribe there. We put new videos every single day, including weekends. And we always make videos trying to answer your questions on YouTube. So if you have any questions or something that you want to learn, please leave it as a YouTube question. We will record a video especially for you, and we have very, very good content published every single day. So be sure to subscribe in there as well. We are always available also in our chat for the website, and also in our Slack channel. There is a link in our website so you can join. We are very active in there as well. So it was a pleasure being with you today. David, do you want to wrap it up?
Yeah, sure. Thank you so much, guys, for joining in. It was a pleasure talking to you. Join like any of our community channels. That would be great as well. And you will find me there. And if you have like any question or want like to just or have an idea or want like to discuss something, like I'll be happy to.
Yeah, I would like to say thank you for everyone who attended. We are going to have, we are trying to make these webinars twice a month and bring as interesting themes for you. So if you have any suggestion, please let us know. That will be great. Our next webinar will be a blockchain use case. So I'll be happy if you guys can join us again and see how that blockchain case was built using Backfrap. So thank you. Have a great day for all of you.
Have a great day, everyone, and hope to see you back on the next webinar. See you soon. Bye-bye.
Bye.